Hey everybody. Well, we had the latest round of gun violence. And Charlie Kirk went to Utah to speak at this outdoor rally thing after he had been told he was not wanted there. And while he was there, he was shot in the neck and he died later from his wounds. Bled out. Six hours later, and they don't have the shooter in custody. They did pick up somebody else, and it turned out that he was not involved at all. And of course, MAGA is saying that it was a Democrat that did this. And unfortunately, it's more likely to turn out that it was a member of the MAGA cult that did it, just as it has been the two attempts on President Trump's life and many of the shootings that have happened, individual murders and mass murders, school shootings and things, since Donald Trump's first term in office have turned out to be conservative Republicans, and the majority of those have turned out to be MAGA. But yet, the finger is always pointed at the Democrats, and every time there's something like this goes on, the statement has been made that we don't have a gun problem, we have a Democrat problem, and we should get rid of the Democrats. These things are going to keep happening until the guns are all confiscated and become property of the government. And there's going to be many more deaths before it's solved. I don't want people's guns taken away from them. I don't want people to lose their Second Amendment right to bear arms. What I want and what I've advocated for years was sensible gun reform laws. Because every death by gun violence is preventable. This could have been prevented. Not only had Charlie Kirk decided to stay away from Utah, but had the person who had the gun decided not to shoot the gun. Gun violence is always preventable. Now, I don't want to sound callous, because I am genuinely sorry for the grief that Charlie Kirk's family is experiencing right now. And I think that they should be allowed their privacy to grieve and to mourn the loss of a husband, a father, a son. I did not agree with what Charlie Kirk said much of the time. He pushed every last nerve almost as bad as our president does. He was one of those people who, like Trump, I cannot listen to for more than 5 minutes without getting extremely angry because of what he's saying. It was intolerable. And he showed no compassion, no empathy, no caring for other human beings. And yet I'm supposed to feel compassion and empathy and caring for him. I have a very difficult time at this moment feeling any kind of empathy for Charlie Kirk. I do feel it for his family, because his death could have been prevented. And the loss his family is feeling could have been prevented. I don't know what it's going to take for our country to wake up and decide that we have to do something. We can protect our Second Amendment freedoms without being this violent, without being this murderous a country, without being so evil and violent and malicious that other countries around the world say we are too dangerous a place to come visit. It's not the LGBTQIA. It's not the Latinos. It's not the Native Americans, indigenous to this continent. %98 or so of all the people that are being arrested for these mass shootings. Straight, white, conservative, evangelical, MAGA, cultist Christians. Men, not women, men. And the rest of them, do you realize that less than 1% of all the violent crime in this country, less than half of 1% of all the violent crime in this country is committed by people in the LGBTQIA community or the indigenous community, the immigrants who come across the borders and work in our country have got a better work ethic, are easier to get along with. They're not violent. So what are the talking points that MAGA gives? That these are drug addicts and rapists and murderers, that they're eating your pets, even though it's patently been proved not to be so. Well, Charlie Kirk got his 15 minutes of fame, and karma caught up with him. He made the statement that some deaths by guns were necessary so that we could keep our Second Amendment right to bear arms, to protect the Second Amendment. Well, he died by gun violence. Was his death necessary for us to have our Second Amendment right to bear arms? I don't think so. I don't think any death by gun violence is necessary. They are preventable. Because when you use a gun to solve your anger, you are not solving the problem. You are only making the problems worse. When every solution to a problem looks like a bullet, you've lost your mind. You've lost your humanity. I'm sorry, folks. I'm not happy that he died, but I have no empathy for him. I think he brought it on himself. When are we going to wake up? People don't need to be dying because we have to have guns. It's got to end. When is it going to end? Think about it.